You know, it's crazy because I joke a lot about being single and, you know, I I laugh it off. But I'm 46 years old. And while I'm getting ready for surgery and everything, it dawned on me. Hold on. I'm sorry. It dawned on me that I'm 46 years old and I don't have a husband to take care of me.
I hope all of you guys had a great Christmas. I took a break. I just thought I'd do a few shorts, but that's about it. But over the holidays, I had a few sit-down coffee meetings with a few women. And I had a meeting yesterday, and this lady was a 32-year-old Eastern European, very beautiful, fit. And she's quite contented with her life in the sense of her relationships. After a few questions, I can see that she went through a few, emotional roller coasters, also known to most women as traumas. Now, here's the thing. I asked her one simple question, and this is the question to you ladies today. If you reach to an age where you don't want to get married and you don't want to have kids, and or both, you're making good money and you've reached this conclusion that if I don't find that, then I'll be happy because I have my career and I don't need a man. This channel is called Ask an Older Man. And the reason why Ask an Older Man is one of the most essential things that most people should do is because these older men are here. We are here. Especially ask a man in around his 50s and 60s, because that's a man that has spanned over half a century of existence. He's also seen enough so that he can show you your future, but not so old that his brain has become rigid in his understanding of the younger generation. Because I'm still at that age where I can see what's happening, because the changes that have occurred hasn't occurred that big that it's too far away from my generation for me to understand it. So when I give you guys advice, and you in your 20s and 30s, where you should start taking relationships and fitness and health and business and opportunities serious, because that's the time that you should take it serious. You're no longer a kid anymore. It's no longer playtime when you hit your late 20s and 30s. It's time to grow the fuck up. It's adulting time. So the sooner you get it right in your early years, the better off you'll be in your later years. You keep playing and messing around in your early years, in those years, 20s and 30s, you're setting yourself up for serious pain when you hit your 50s, 60s, and 70s. But back to this young lady who thinks that she don't have to think about the 40s and 50s. She just want to think about today because it makes her happy. She don't want to think further on. And that's the difference between men and women. Men are constantly thinking about the future. That's how we're designed. We're biologically designed to think forward, simply because from our hunter-gatherer days, we knew perfectly well that if we didn't hunt in the good season, that when the winter come, we didn't have any opportunities to get meat, we were screwed. Simple. So we had to understand that we have to invest in the future if we wanted to survive beyond normal years. I hope you guys understand what I'm saying. So back to this lady. So she thinks that if she don't think about it, it's going to manifest itself in happiness.
Manifest your specific person, and here's how. Step one, start with telling yourself that it is possible. People manifest their specific person all the time. You've seen it happen. I've seen it happen. Tell yourself that it's possible. Step two, start using your imagination to conjure up the inner experience of being together. Feel your person saying things to you like, I love being in a relationship with you. Feel their arms wrapped around you.
If she don't think about the negative ramifications, making an effort today in order for it to pay off in the future, that this is just too much and she shouldn't do that. That's not healthy for her mental state. Who am I to argue? Sometimes I feel like I should just leave people who who don't want to listen to their own devices, because the pain is going to come slowly, unfortunately, but it's going to come. I'm telling you.
She said, I'm 50 years old. I have 3 degrees. I'm a very successful entrepreneur, CEO. And I want you to know, Dennis, I deeply regret that I followed the feminist advice at college, because when I come home after a successful day at work to an empty home, no husband, no children, no family, it's not good.
I see it every single day. To my 50-year-old friends, my 40-year-old female friends who have the career, who have the life. The problem happens when they put their head down on that pillow. Once all the friends have gone home to their mates.
That I'm 46 years old and I don't have a husband to take care of me. I don't have a husband to help me get ready. I'm 46 years old and I still need my mama to take care of me post-op. I still need my sister, which whether I had a husband or not, they would be there. Being single and 46 sucks. It just sucks. I'm fucking tired. And I make jokes about fucking buffoons that I have been encountering in dating. But in reality, this is my reality. This is my reality. This is my reality, and those stories are the shit that's available, because all the good men have gotten married in their 20s and 30s because they're good men. I'm not blaming it all on men, because women are fucking shit. They've batshit crazy.
Down on that pillow. Once all the friends have gone home to their mates, once she can't get in touch with all her other female friends who have their kids and their husbands, that's their life, that's their responsibility. She's only a side note. Your friends, your best friends who have taken the choice to find a mate and develop a family, you then become a side note. That's it. So ladies, understand, the decisions that you make today will bear fruit in the future. Every man knows this. Here's the big issue. Every one of the younger ladies that I'm talking to are looking at relationships from a point of fear and scarcity. And what do I mean by that? The fear is, oh, what if this person did this to me? What if this man did this to me? Listen, and try to understand how ridiculous this sounds in real terms. Every single time you jump in a car, every single time you walk out of the door, every single breath that you take, you are on borrowed time. You are on borrowed time. Your entire existence is temporary. I'm trying to break it down to a point where you understand that you don't get anything permanent. That means that if you are afraid to go out of your front door because the possibilities of you getting hit by a car is there, you have a problem. I don't remember the name of the disease because there are people who are shut into their own homes and they have a fear of going out.
Agoraphobia is an anxiety disorder characterized by intense fear and avoidance of places or situations where escape might be difficult or where help might not be available if something were to happen. Agoraphobia is a more complex condition than what most people assume. They assume it's simply a fear of open spaces. But someone with agoraphobia may be scared of traveling on public transport, visiting a shopping center, or leaving home. Agoraphobia is often associated with panic disorders.
There are people who are afraid to get any disease at all. They don't want to touch anything. These are problems that human beings have. But if you apply the same fear to our relationships, you will never ever have a relationship. She actually asked me, well, what happens if your wife decides she's going to leave you tomorrow? And I said, hey, that's life. I cannot control my wife's brain. I cannot control her emotions. If my wife decides that she's had enough, then she's had enough. I'm going to do everything I can to find out what the problem is. I'll suggest therapy for her. I will suggest trying to save our marriage. But in the end, if she wants to go, that's her thing. She goes. And you know what? It's no different than riding a bicycle. I fall down, I get up, dust myself off. I might have a few scars. They'll hurt at first. Then I move on. I've done it twice already. I've been through 2 divorces. This is my 3rd marriage, guys. For those of you that have been listening to my other videos, this is nothing for me. Of course it's painful. Every single time it's been painful. But how many relationships have you been through where you've broken up? You felt the pain, correct? What do you think it's any different in a marriage except the monetary pain from it? It's the same thing. If you've had someone that you have committed to, where both of you said, hey, we're not going to sleep with anyone else. Hey, we're not going to provide any time or any emotional time to anyone else. We're going to be for each other. But you just didn't sign that piece of paper and said those little magic words, I do. You're still together. How many times have you done that and it has gone bad? You got up and you got into another relationship. There's no difference. For all of you gentlemen who saying that, oh, I'll never get married, not based on the laws today in the West. Yeah, sure.
Zero advantage to marriage in the Western world for a man, because this new idea of New Age feminism just basically destroys all men in the event of her leaving. If a woman marries a man and it goes wrong, she has emotional heartbreak, fine. If a man marries a woman and it goes wrong, he has emotional heartbreak. Plus, everything he has ever worked for is ripped out from underneath him, and he has to give that chick money forever. So when you make these rules and these laws, right, under the guise of feminism and equality, all this garbage, all you're doing is scaring men away from commitment. And then you have to add in the other hidden element, and the other hidden element is what I said earlier, is whose fault a lot of this is promiscuous women, right? If women were saying, if all women got together and said, we'll only have sex after marriage, guess what men would do? Get married. But you don't, right? So now you're in Miami, I can fuck anything in the club, I don't have to marry any of them. If I marry them, I get wrecked. So let's all use our brains here. What am I gonna do?
I see what you're talking about. The difference is find ways to protect your asset, whether you open a live-in trust, a blind trust, or a prenup. If you want to protect the assets that you bring into your marriage, sure, then get married. But if you don't plan on getting married because of the fear, then you're giving up kids that would be well-rounded, balanced kids that is coming from a 2-parent household, or you don't want to have kids and so your genetic line dies with you. Biologically, that's unnatural. So what are you going to do? You work your ass off, you work hard, then you make enough money to spend to the rest of your life, and hopefully you just burn through all the money that you've made all your life and then die broke. Try timing that properly. Try timing that to the T, where all of your money is finished at the end of your life. Most fools who tried that, usually the money finishes before the end of their life, and they end up suffering for the last decade or so. You see my point? You could juggle these things, or you can say, hey, you know, when I go, whatever assets I have made and saved and earned, it now goes to my offspring. That gives him a leg up, and my legacy will continue after I no longer exist. And so, guys, you got to understand, for everything in life, nothing is permanent. And I mean nothing, not even you. And I think once you absorb that feeling, once you understand that one thing, understand that no relationship is permanent, whether it's with a male or female, whether it's in a job, whether it's in a business, nothing is permanent. I think that's the same premise of Buddhism. Yes. Look it up. I think it is. Nothing is permanent. So once you feel and understand that simple principle, then you will go into life feeling that, hey, I'm going to enjoy this moment. This is the moment I got with this person. Now, finish. It ends painfully. Yes, that doesn't mean that I can't find another person. Find another person. It could end, or it could go on into your end of your life. But you learn from the other one. You learn how to not pick a person who thinks like that previous one, or you learn not to pick a person that you had picked before with that thinking. But that's how we grow and learn. That's it. It's as simple as that. And because I've been through it twice already, I feel that I've picked someone who was thinking the same way I'm thinking to go into the end of our life with. My two previous marriages, one I was too young, and the second one was just I picked wrong. Simple. I'm friends with my two exes. We're great. We are cordial. Everything is fine. So I knew I'd pick, women that were good enough for me not to say, hey, we hate each other. No. During the breakup, it was painful, but then we came back and said, hey, I'm sorry, and we moved on. They both have husbands. I've moved on to new life. I didn't have kids with them, so the connection is clean. So all I'm saying to you guys is stop thinking so negatively after you've gone through pain. Everything is temporary, even the pain, because you could close the doors, stay in the house, don't see the world, and live like that for the rest of your life. Giving you that analogy for your relationship. You can be lonely for the rest of your life. You can live in fear. And for you ladies who think that, oh, I'm not going to settle because I haven't found Mr. Right, you will never find Mr. Right. I can tell you that right now. No woman finds her first choice. None. Because when she thinks she's found the top G and she has to put up with the fact that, hey, I hardly see him because he's at work 90% of the time. He hardly gets to see the kid. Yeah, sure, I get the Bentley, I get the Rolls Royce, I get all of these things, but I'm missing a lot of intimacy. I'm missing a lot of time with him. She never gets what she wants. If you want to measure your happiness by material things, trust me, you're not happy. I know tons of miserable, older, rich women dripping with freaking jewels every day, pretending like they're happy. But then when they look across at their husbands across the room with his cigar, I can see the look of almost hatred in her eyes. See it all the time. Sure, pimped out with her wrinkles and her jewelry, but I can tell you, I can see it. I see it all the time. Look at further down the line. As you come down the line with women who have men on their own level, they're always thinking, oh, I could have had that guy that bought me the Bentley. Women are always thinking that they could have gotten better. So only when the female realize, hey, this is a good man. He ticks all the boxes. He's not perfect, but nothing is perfect. That's when she knows true happiness. I think that's what happened to my wife. I'll ask her. Because trust me, I know. Sometimes she look at me like, why did I do this? But then in the end, if the relationship is better than being out on the streets lonely, people will take the relationship. And for any woman who's in a relationship where she don't think it's perfect and decides to go out in the street, 99% of them want to run back to what they had. Most of the time, it's too late. Anyway, guys, I don't want to draw this out, but it's something that came up this weekend, and I wanted you guys to just sort of get an idea. Guys, hit me up the super thanks. I'm now finally got monetized on this channel. So yeah, hit me up with a super thanks if you enjoy the content. If you're not enjoying the content, hey, there are other channels out there. But I know you like this one because that's why you're here. And at least, the least you can do is give me a like. If that's okay with you, at least give me a like, all right? And of course, the channel is going to be expanding and my services are going to be expanding. There's so many people who want one-on-one chats. They're hitting me up on Instagram and I'm getting messages, but please bear with me, guys. I'm just trying to set up the system. And of course, I have another job. So I would love to do this full time, but of course, only if you guys support that. And then, of course, you can have much more of my time. All right.